Hi there guys, in this video we're going to have a look at how we complete the square on this one where we've got a negative coefficient of x squared, and here we've got a positive coefficient of x squared but it's greater than 1. So both offer some difficulties, and then we'll have a look at another one which combines both of them. So if it is negative, people get confused here because they think, oh, let's put an equals sign. But you can't do that. You can't just create an equal sign just because you feel like it. So if we ask you to complete the square on something that looks like this, what I would do is I would take out and factorize for a -1. So I like to do a big square bracket for these. So if we go x squared plus 4x minus 5. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to complete the square and basically what we did before. So we're going to look at these two terms here, and we're going to half this coefficient. So x plus 2 all squared. When we complete the square, we're going to get a 4, which we don't want, so we take it away. Remember, it's always take away, and it's always this squared. And then we'll pop on that -5 on the end. So we're going to end up with x plus 2 squared minus 9. And the reason I like the square brackets rather than a normal one, because you'd have a bracket here, and it looks a bit naff, I think. But if you put a square bracket, it looks a bit better. Now we're going to multiply by -1. So we're going to get 9 minus x plus 2 all squared. And if you're ever unsure whether you've done it right, you just expand it and you will get this. Now for this one, we can only really complete the square if it's 1x squared. So we're going to factorize for the 2. Now this is where methods change. I'm more of a fan of leaving it like this. You could factorize everything for 2. I just find it more complicated. But some people might argue the other way. But here we go. So let's complete the square on this. So I'm going to have x plus 3 over 2 squared. Now it's always take away, and it's always whatever this is squared. So I'm gonna do that. But this is where it gets complicated, because we've got 2 squares. We're technically completing the square twice. So when we complete the square, we're going to get this squared, but because there's 2 squareds, you've got to remember to put a 2 there, and that's where you go wrong. And in fact, people that factorize for 2 early, they don't have to do that, so that may be a better method. I'll leave that up to you. And then I'm going to pop that on the end there. So it's going to be 2x plus 3 over 2 squared. Now be careful here, that's 9 over 4. Times 2, that'd be 18 over 4, which is the same as 9 over 2. And we've just got to tidy it up now. So x plus 3 over 2 squared. Now if you think about it, that's minus 4.5 plus 3, so you're going to get minus 1.5 or minus 3 over 2. Okay, so let's make it so this is harder. So that's not a common factor of 6. And let's make it a minus. Let's go like 7 plus 4x minus 3x squared. Let's see what happens here. So because it's a minus, I'm going to take that outside of a square bracket and change everything. Okay. Now because it's not 1x squared, I'm going to factorize for whatever that coefficient is. So it's going to be 4 over 3x, and I only do it for the first 2 terms because they're only the terms I'm completing the square on. It's just how I like to do it. I might run out of space here. So let's complete the square. So a nice little trick here, because we're halving this coefficient. Halving is the same as dividing by 2. Keep, change, flip, the same as timesing by half. Only this part will actually get doubled. So that'd be 4 over 6. Or if you think, if I've got 4/3 and I half it, I've now got 2/3, right? And we're always going to take away 2/3 squared, but please remember, we're not completing the square once, we're completing it 3 times. Take away 7. Now we've got to tidy this up. So that's 4 times 3 is 12. 12 over 9. 12 over 9, we can divide both of those by 3. So it's 4/3. So it's minus 4/3 minus 7. Okay, I will fit this in this paper. So that's 1 1/3, or minus 1 1/3. So we're going to have minus 8 1/3. Okay, all that's left to do now is times through out by minus 1. So we're going to get 8 1/3 minus 3 lots of x minus 2/3 all squared. So if a negative, take it out. If it's not a 1, factorize for it. And then just basically repeat what you did before. And that's it. Hope it makes sense, guys.